Well, let me start that one again. Adaire Palmer here with Dr. Z.
Yeah, that's why people call me Dr. Z. So no one can pronounce my surname. Even I have trouble with it, so don't worry.
Well, give us a run through. I thought I'd practice that beforehand too. So,
Yeah. No, look, Dr. Z, I've been called Dr. Z since 1985. So, because that's been over 30 years now. So, when I started medical school, no one could pronounce my name back then. So they just said, "Oh, you're just Dr. Z. Don't worry about it." So,
and it's stuck.
Yeah, so it stuck. Yeah, it has stuck. In fact, when I even named my own publishing company, Dr. Z Publishing, in the end, at 2006, when I started it all. And I started it because, quite frankly, for about 8 years, I was struggling to find a publisher, and 250 rejections. Those are the days when you actually got written notes in the letterbox. Postal deliveries would send you, very informal rejections, and I think I collected them. For years I collected them, and I got to about 250 before I said, you know what, this is probably bad feng shui, so I just threw them all out. And look, in the end, I just said, well, look, I can't wait forever. I've been waiting 8 years. I'd written about 3 or 4 books by then. So I just said, well, stuff it. I'll just do it myself. I'll try. So I created Dr. Z Publishing in 2006. And that was because back then self-publishing had a really, bad name. It isn't anymore. Back then, it was sort of taboo, and you were looked upon very disdainfully, really, as an author. So what I did is I created a publishing company that would publish my books.
That's very clever. That's very clever, because it's sort of you've got your own credibility baked into that. I love it. That was the
idea. And I only had one book back then. About one book that I wanted to publish with the Dr. Z Publishing, and that was Samantha Honeycomb, and it was only published as an ebook back then. And this was before Kindles. Before iPads, before mobile phones as we know them, the devices they became, and so you could only read ebooks as a PDF on a computer screen.
Way ahead of your time. Way ahead of your time, Scott.
But as you can imagine, sales were pretty low. They're just trickling along, and then a perfect storm happened in about 2008, 2009 when the GFC hit. And a lot of publishers were looking to downsize. Bookstores were going bankrupt. But also at the same time, Kindles came out, iPads came out, iPhones came out, all at the same time. So the market was growing by the millions, literally every week, for downloadable digital books. And people started coming to me because I was already in the game before it all hit. And so I started helping a lot of authors. I started helping a lot of other publishers out there who knew they needed to do ebooks, but they didn't know what ebooks were. So I helped them, and I built a platform to distribute the world. And now that platform gets, I don't think there's one ebook retailer that we do not get into. I mean, we must cover nearly 100% worldwide. And that includes foreign language ebook as well. So, we built that up, and now I've probably got about 250 to 300 of my own titles. Plus, I also help probably another 150 on top of that of other people's books that I help distribute for. But not as Dr. Z books, but as their own publishing books as well. So I've been in the game for about 14 years digitally, and but the thing about digital, I mean, I also do print books now as well, and audio books. I mean, that's grown part of the time because I realised
audio books has really grown, hasn't it? That's
Oh yeah, it's great. Audio books are great. But it's all digital, so it's streaming. Whether you download an ebook or you stream an audiobook, you kind of have to know how to get your books out there, and you also have to get to know how people can find your books, because there are 45 million ebooks on Amazon as we speak, right here, right now.
Whoa, that's
45 million. Yeah, and so your one little book somehow has to pop its head up above that ocean of ebooks that are there, and get found. And so that's where digital marketing is all part and parcel of what we need to do to get your books out there and get people known. Just people get to know you, like you, trust you, so that they'll hand over money to buy your book. And that's what we're here today to talk about.
I think that's brilliant, and I love your story. I've heard your story, and I'm going to actually do a little shout out to your other page where you do your leadership, through your book called Your Natural State of Being, because if you're here for live or the replay, Scott's story is really amazing. Trained as a pediatrician and end up as a digital publisher. So go figure. I think you do share a bit in the live broadcast that you have on Your Natural State of Being. We'll pop the link in there down below afterwards, because it really is an incredible story about how you can change gears to follow your true life's calling. And I think we're in a time right now where we've got, I would say, a world full of people who are going, what's next? Yeah. So, some of them may have found their why. They may have found what's working for them. They found their passion, but there might be other people that are going, I know I've got to do something. Excuse me. I've got possums in the roof. It's I'm actually downstairs. It's only one upstairs at the moment. It sounds like they're dragging the chair around, but that's okay. That's the joy of working from home.
Which we're all doing, aren't we? We all have to do that now. Absolutely. I mean, the world has changed upside down literally overnight, hasn't it? And
I know.
And working from home, a lot of people have just been thrown in the deep end. I mean, you and I have been doing this for years. We've already got the platform set up. We've already got these things sorted. It hasn't been a huge transition at all for us, because
it's another day in the office, really.
Absolutely, but 99% of the population out there, it isn't, and it's a big, what do I call it? Overwhelm, I guess, is overwhelming. Feeling anxiety, overwhelming. What do I do? But that's why we're here today. We want to talk about how we'll give us a bit of our own expertise on how you can reach people out there through the digital platform. And isn't it amazing? I mean, can you imagine if this happened 20 years ago, before the internet? How the isolation would be magnified 10 times.
I think there would be huge issues. And it was funny that you mentioned that, because it was about 20 years ago for me. You're saying about how your digital publishing business was born, and I was just thinking when you were talking about that, the correlation between what you're doing and what I'm doing with my TV channel, My Time TV, and it was back in the 90s. Might have been longer than 20 years ago, that I had this vision that I would be doing something to help people get their message out there, and to because that's my thing, is to help people, and help people is even it's even more powerful to know that you can use the tools that we have, like with your expertise, digital publishing, and with mine, live broadcasting and chatbots, that type of thing. So it's all it's taken a long time for technology to catch up with the vision that I had many, many years ago. It was 1996, but It was one of those things. I can see it now being born out of that desire back then for youth. Back then it was something like, let's go and approach the local community TV channel. So, so it was an idea that was well ahead of its time. So nothing got done because there wasn't the opportunity. And then it was just like, why am I doing this? I'm terrified of live broadcasting. I used to be.
Well, I mean, that's a big fear, isn't it? A lot of people don't want to put their face out there and get. I mean, I certainly my strength is writing. Sitting behind a screen that's blank, you can't see me. That's my. But in this world of digital world, people want to see, especially if they can't see you physically in the same room. At least having that sort of virtual face in front of them is extremely important.
It is. And I had to really do some work to get over myself to do this. So there is hope for everybody. And what we want to do today is just give you a couple of tips. We've got a series of workshops coming up next Friday, but we want to just give you a couple of tips that we're going to be sharing when we go into these workshops. So we'll maybe start with you. But first, I'd just like to say I'm using a platform called BeLive.tv, which is why we've got these lovely little Easter frames here. We've got you can change them. You can do like little overdlays that's I think that's trying to be a bit healthier. We've got a carrot, we've got an egg. So did you overdose on chocolate over Easter?
Personally, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Normally, I steal all my children's Easter eggs while they're sleeping. I'm the anti-bunny, and
anti-bunny.
But yeah, not this year. Actually, been pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, it wasn't that my daughter bought me, so I didn't buy any eggs because I'm going, I'm not doing it. No chocolate, sort of celebrate the sort of spiritual aspects of it, but the whole commercial egg stuff. Well, she bought me a beautiful sugar, no added sugar chocolate. Well, I inhaled that and then went on a chocolate rampage. So I see we do have a few people here. Please do let us know where you're tuning in from. It's been a while since I've actually been live on social media with Adaire. If you are on any other page, we've got live over at Dr. Z Publishing. We're on Be Live in 5. We are live cross-posting to a few other pages. So if you do want to come over and say hello and drop your name and where you're from in the comments, there's a link above that you can click that will bring you directly to the original broadcast. So we're over at social media with Adaire, and we're going to share in the next little while one thing each that we can help you with your with digital marketing and with your presence in the digital landscape. So we'll start with you. How does that sound? You're on.
Absolutely, that's great. One thing I just wanted to say that you raised, which was a very important thing. Like 20 years ago, you said you had to think of going to a TV broadcaster to get your stuff. Now the technology has come so far that a lot of those traditional media platforms that authors needed in the past, or any celebrity, are just not really required to that same extent anymore. I mean, yes, it's great to have traditional media on board with it, getting TV, radio interviews, or in the traditional print as well. That's fantastic. And as anyone that wants to get their message out there, there's still great platforms to do. But whereas before there was a big firewall around these platforms, and it was very difficult to get into. Now there are a lot of disruptive platforms like Be Live TV, where you can get into people's living rooms, and now, especially now. And I know you're going to share a great story of getting into 46,000 people's living rooms just recently. But just to get onto what. Thanks, Jenny. Looking good, feeling good.
You're making a great point, and I could probably talk with you about this for hours, because it is something that we're in unprecedented times. But one of the things that I've observed, and so what's happened with this COVID-19, I've times that we live in. But what's actually happened is it's created a level playing field. So you will see, I've seen Robbie Williams sitting in his bedroom. I've seen Megan Trainor sitting on the bench on her kitchen, in her kitchen, playing guitar. I've seen Pink talking from, I think it was her son's bedroom, where she was talking about her experience with the virus and her son's experience with the virus. And she was talking to Ellen, who was put on a chair in her lounge. Now, this is a level playing field. Not once did I see a slick production. Not once did I see that was all edited out. And here comes my beautiful family. I love this. We're just working from home.
Yeah.
She wants to come and talk to Mama. So anyway, but it's created a level playing field. And what we used to think, and it's a pivot, I think, in our thinking, where we had to be totally. She's coming over to say hello. Come on.
Do you want to completely run everything else upstairs?
Okay. So here's my co-host. This is Juniper.
Hello.
Say hello. And this is what I mean by a level playing field. Exactly this. Because if you've got kids at home and you're going, I can't do my live streaming, I can't bring my business online, I can't do this because all of these they're not reasons, they're excuses. You can incorporate them in, and you know what? People love real. People love real, and they love to see, this is, I really enjoyed that conversation that Pink had with Ellen, because it was raw and it was real, and it was, so, and Jenny's saying she's so beautiful. She is. And Ross is here as well. So, yeah.
Well, I think the word is authentic. And this is a key to marketing, whether you're traditional marketing or you're a digital marketer, or you're promoting yourself or you're promoting products. People can see through people, and if you're not authentic, if you're not real, people have a great talent in reading other people. As a human being, we can read other people. Full stop.
I just don't mind. I was going to say, as Australians, our bullshit meter actually is pretty fairly well honed. So, hey, we've got Sandra here as well. So thank you, darling.
So hello, Sandra.
All right.
So yes. So it's all about authenticity. So I know we're going to be talking about digital marketing, but you have to be real and you have to be true, because if you come across as false, you're just going to lose people. And I think at the end of the day, there are three things that you need to get across. First of all, people have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you.
Yes.
So all those three things are encompassed in one word: authenticity. So they have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. And if you can't get those three things, then there's no way you're going to build a community. There's no way. Thanks, Jenny. There's no way people are going to come to you. They're going to stay with you. And in fact, they're going to do worse. They're going to spread how bad you are over social media anyway. So that's one great thing about social media is, look, there's a lot of fake stuff out there that we have to get through, and you have to do it. But the authenticity is really under scrutiny.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And I think it is something that that the slick marketers, the ones who do it, like last year's marketing, I think that is actually, that's changing daily. It's changing as we move. She's going to.
Yeah.
This is so cool. I'm going to actually drop myself out because I think there will be tears in a moment, and I'm going to put your slide up.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we could get on to something that the tip that I wanted to give people today. So if you just put that up for us, thanks, Adaire. There's I wanted to show you people the one big thing that's essential for digital marketing. Okay, we're talking about digital marketing here, and it's about growing your database. It's about being authentic. It's about being true. But if people don't know who you are, they can't like you. They can't trust you. So people have to know about you. So one of the great things that fulfills all three criteria of knowing who you are, liking you, and trusting you, is to build your email database. Now, I'm just going to share here with you. So what you need to do to build your database. Now, I've got three main databases. I've got a what I call my Readers Club, which is ebooks, free ebooks that you can download on the drzed.com website. They're free ebooks from a lot of my authors who have just voluntarily given their own ebook out there for free. But to get those ebooks and get them sent to your device or laptop, you need to join the community, and you do that by giving us your email. So as part of giving us your email, you get sent, I think you get sent up to about 30 different ebooks over the course of about 6 months. I'll have to check that for you, but that's the kind of thing that you can do. So we give you a lot of great entertainment. It's not just fiction; it's also non-fiction stuff as well. There's a lot of mindfulness stuff in there because with Dr. Z Publishing, my big thing is books that deliver goodness, truth, and beauty. I mean, that's our motto or our catch cry, if you like. We have the books that give you goodness, truth, and beauty, and anyone that submits their books for publishing have to fulfill those criteria. They have to either be a book that delivers goodness or truth or beauty or all of the above. So, but part of building a community of readership with Dr. Z Publishing is that you join you get onto an email database. Now, as you can see, we've got here, we've got about 2,700 readers. So they get sent books, and as you can see, and it's not always just scratchy. There's some people. I've lost about 7 people this week because not everyone stays on your database, and that's why it's not just a set and forget. You have to constantly nurture your readership as well, because if you're not delivering what they want, they're going to drop off. So that's just another tip here. But I just wanted to show you, and as you can see, a recent email that we sent had an open of 540% over and above ones that we sent previously. So the great thing that you can do with your email database, and this is MailChimp, by the way, people, you can see the little icon up here on the left-hand side. I use MailChimp. There are other things called Infusionsoft, which is another high-level database email platform that you can use. And there are others, but I've just been using MailChimp since I think 2011, so I'm very comfortable there, and they're growing, and their platform is maturing every year. They offer the first 2,000. If you join up to MailChimp, they offer the first 2,000 subscribers free. Now that's a lot, because it's taken me a long time to get to 2,700. So the first 2,000 is free, so you don't even have to pay for it. Once you get over 2,000, then you have to start paying for it. So it's a great service. So the great thing about building your email database, you offer something free, like free ebooks, for instance, or a checklist, or one of my other things that I offer people is a survey, a quiz. With my scattzarcinas.com website, where I deliver more personal development, self-help, people can do a quiz and get to know their what I call their breakthrough mindset. So there are lots of things that you can offer to get people to give you their email address, and then of course once you've got their email address, you nurture them. You keep giving them great value, essentially, to stay on board, and then every so often you let them know that you've got stuff for sale if you're selling stuff through an online platform, or if you're doing a workshop like Adaire does or like I do, you just let them know, and then hopefully over time, or like the digital marketing workshop we're going to do. Thanks, Adaire. We're going to do the digital marketing workshop next week. On the 24th is the first. We're going to do 4 sessions. We're going to do it on the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, and 27th, just for 1 hour, 7:30 Adelaide time, so 8 o'clock on the eastern seaboard. We'll be talking more about how to nurture your database. We'll be talking. Adaire will be talking a lot more about how to use Facebook to build and nurture as well. And we've got Strauss.
Have you finished with the slide there, Dr. Z?
Yeah. No, I think we're good for now. I just wanted to show people that one of the most important tips about digital marketing is still email. It's still there. It's still a really good platform.
Yes.
Even though over time open rates are getting low. But if you're offering great value, you'll always get good open rates anyway. So
I do have a question for you about that, because you said it did take you a long time to build that that list. And I think I know from personal experience, when I see people saying, I've got 20,000 on my email list in 30 days and pay me all this money and you can do it too. That sort of thing. I mean, the bullshit meter goes up straight away, but I used to feel that sense of panic about going, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong and I'm not, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's felt like that when you think, we know email is absolutely critical, because anything we do here on social media, Facebook, whatever, if it's Pinterest or, in Instagram, LinkedIn, it's not we're on rented property. We're rented land. It's not ours. Your email list is yours, and
yes.
to grow that. So if you had some words of wisdom around growing it slowly, because I suspect that we might share some common views on that.
Yes. Look, I think there's lots of ways to grow your list. The thing is, don't buy a ready-made list. Don't buy. I made that mistake 10 years ago. I bought a list, okay, because I wanted my list to go. In fact, I think I bought about 10,000. Okay, so, but the problem is with that 10,000, most people will unsubscribe from you, because as soon as they get your email, you've bought it. They know they've been spammed by someone who's collated those emails. They don't know who you are. They don't know why you're connecting with them. They don't know why you're emailing them. So they just unsubscribe. So you've just wasted all your money. So the thing is to build your email database with people who already know who you are by finding you through your website or social media, and then agreeing to be part of your database or your community. And so they already know when you then email, they know who you are already. Then all you need to do is just then nurture them, and so they can get to like you and trust you even more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big trust factor anyway, just to sign up anyway. It requires a degree of trust, but you still have to maintain that trust. And you and you maintain that trust by giving them value. It's just giving people value.
So I'd have to say that email marketing is not dead. It's a critical part of your digital marketing strategy, and websites is that's where you focus your. That's where your jam is. So.
Well, if you want, I can quickly show people, if you want. And let me just see if I can just show you. I can just show you how if you want, I can share.
Sure.
Screen. I can just quickly and
I have the controls.
Yes, they've got all the controls.
Here we go.
So
it's coming up now, and I might just see if I can. Let me just do a bit of fancy footwork with this, so I can put you there, me there, and this one here. And no, it didn't work. What did I do last time? Doesn't matter. We'll just put this one on solo.
Yeah.
We can talk behind.
Okay. Yeah. So with the publishing business, there's essentially two types of audience that you reach. You have the audience that want to read books. Okay, they're your readership. But you also have an audience who actually want to get published and become an author. So there's two types. You've got the authors who want to write the books, and you've got readers who want to read the books. So I have to accommodate two different types of audience. Now, most websites really only have to accommodate one. Okay, and they're usually people that want the value from what you're delivering. So I offer services as well as traditional publishing, but I also offer, as I said, distribution, editing, marketing, and submission. So authors that want, they'll just click this submission and they'll submit their manuscript. But for readers who just want to come and find out what books we've got, well, then they can go to our new releases or our fiction or our non-fiction, and we have a few children's ones as well. Okay, so and here it is, and this is just a very, very simple little thing that we have here. Do you love free ebooks? Join the Readers Club and start reading. So all they do is put in their name, bang, and then their email, bang, and then sign up, and then that's all it is, because it's linked to MailChimp. It all gets automated, and so they then get sent, as I said, up to 30 books over the course of 6 months, free ebooks. Some are very just short stories, by the way. Some you can read in 10, 15 minutes. Others take longer. And that's it. And that's as simple as having a call to action here on your website. And that's all it is. So I just wanted to show you that, just how I got those emails onto that database I just showed you just previously.
I think that's pretty amazing, and it just is that I've heard it called like an ethical bribe or a freemium or a lollipop even, but it's giving away something of value that's going to enhance people's lives, or will entertain, inform, or educate them. So. And you've built that in beautifully, and you'll be talking about that during the at the digital marketing workshop series that we'll be launching into for starting next Friday. So the link is in there, Roz, below. So if you want to have a look at further detail, just check it out. You can book on Eventbrite. And I can just share a little bit of some of the things that I'll be talking about, because we're doing a collaboration here, which is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you today. And it is something that, well, you've got the website and your email list that are critical to, I think of it as sort of parts in the jigsaw puzzle. Because we can also do a bit of a shout out to Strauss as well, because he, about what he's doing and how that fits in. Because with having a presence online, there's a lot of different components to it, and I think it can become very overwhelming, and people can sort of freak out a bit, and a confused person or a freaked out person, generally you'll find them maybe watching Netflix, eating chocolate. I know, instead of
next week I'll be offering a couple of checklists anyway, one-page checklists to help with the overwhelm of what do I do, where do I do, just a few things that you can just tick the boxes. Yes, I've done this. Yes, I've done this. Oh, okay, I need to do this. Boom, boom, boom. You get those things in order. It's the old analogy of getting your ducks all lined up. Yeah,
that's right.
And if you do that and then work on it, it's not set and forget. And this is probably what people have to realize. You have to continually work on this to get people, because as I said, people need nurturing. We need freshness. We need newness. 20 years ago, you could set and forget. But those days are gone now.
Yes, it doesn't work that way now. But what I found in my experience is that it's constantly, if any of you have hooked into Covey's stuff, and I know you talk about, in your leadership training, it's around that evolution, but he talks about it as in sharpening the saw. So you just have to keep improving, keep evolving. And I think that if we have that mindset, that we do have to keep doing it, then we won't be disappointed. Because I always there are probably even as recently as 7 or 8 years ago, we'd still get that you can just set this and forget it, the money's going to come rolling in, and then you can go sit on the beach and well, not today, but back then. And I bought into that. Totally bought into that. Who wouldn't? But
it's a bit of a dream. Yeah, these people that sell dreams, dream merchants. You've just got to be careful. Absolutely, this is any dream that says that you just do this, push a button, and then go and sit on the beach. I mean, that's a dream merchant. Basically, dreams are built on hard work.
Yes.
And anyone that doesn't offer hard work as part of the solution, you can't trust them. And you know what? We're offering hard work. You've got to do these things. You've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the hours. It just doesn't happen any other way. But we can at least give you some framework on which to build that.
And the guidance of how to get you on the way. So that's fantastic. So my tip is around collaboration. Now, who was it that said no man is an island? Do you remember who quoted that? It was some philosopher from way back when, and they said no man is an island, and that's I think as true now, or even truer now than what it has been in the past, because as you said, if we'd had something like a global pandemic 20 years ago, it would have been a completely different story, because I think there would have been a whole I think the ending would be completely different, but then now because we're so connected, because we're so able to do the collaboration, which is the key that I'm talking about here, is being able to share our skills and knowledge and resources so that everybody wins, rather than taking now someone started up a mower. So rather than taking shut the window. So rather than taking this is the pie and this is my slice of it and it's finite, what we're doing is, again, just a little tweak in our imaginations, in the way we think, to say, all right, well, we are actually in abundance. There is an abundance of everything everywhere, and there's definitely an abundance of people who need our help, who need the specialist advice that we have. I mean, there's a lot of people that do social media. There's a lot of people that do digital publishing, but there is so many people looking for clues and answers. And also, then that's what I'm saying, collaboration for me is absolutely key. So someone wanting to write a book would not be able to write it without your help and without collaborating with you and the editor. And I mean, it can be done, I guess, but the road's a lot harder and it takes a lot longer. So I'm just going to show what we did when we did a collaboration with, now Roz is here and she's saying it's hard work and it's only you who can now, and it's only you who can now, but if it's worth it, do it. Absolutely. And that's a beautiful segue into the recent collaboration that we did on my TV channel, on mytimetv.live. Jenny's saying collaboration, not competition. Absolutely. So what we did was we collaborated. Now, this is as a direct result of the external environment, the curious times that we're living in. We had it was Roz and Leanne Winston, psychic medium, had a expo planned for Murray Bridge in South Australia, and that was planned for the 5th of April. And of course, when the wheels fell off of that, and every football game and every tennis and every other thing that meant that you could go out and have have some outside with other people, I was going to say fun, but we're sort of redoing that online, which is even the offline event for the expo was a collaborative event because Leanne couldn't hold it by herself. So her and Roz, as a stallholder, came to me and said, look, we collaborate. I have this TV channel called mytimetv.live. And what do you think about collaborating to do the expo online? And I went, yes, we'll figure the rest out later. But what happened there was we live streamed on the 5th of April when the offline expo was supposed to be held. We had that date because people were booked in. We offered Leanne offered to her stall holders that were already booked in to come online, and we designed something in a 2-week period that was designed to be as close to an offline experience as possible. And it was only possible through collaboration. One of the things that we found was that after 6 hours, I thought I'd be exhausted, but I was totally pumped. And we had so many amazing people, so much amazing, products and services and entertainment and information, and it was just amazing. But here's the kicker. When you're doing it by yourself, if you're live streaming by yourself and you're wanting to increase your visibility, and you'll find if you've got a page with a couple of thousand, or even, like 2 or 3 or even 10,000, you might find that you are doing, if you're doing a live broadcast a week, unless you've got a huge following that are totally, constantly and always engaged on your page, which I would say there would probably be 0.01% of the live streamers who actually have that, would be going, you'd look at your organic reach and you would look at you would go, oh my God, I've just spent half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour or an hour online live streaming, and it's reached 300 people or 2,000 or 6,000 people. And we also found that over Christmas with MyTimeTV.live, which has been going for a couple of years now, and that's a collaborative program, channel where we all collaborate to share and raise our visibility. But I found over Christmas, because everybody packs up, when I didn't have any summer shows. So do you remember in the old media where you go, all the good shows went off air and they do reruns of, I don't know, Hogan's
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, so I was totally unprepared for that. So over Christmas, it didn't just, it didn't just stop. It atrophied. It actually went down, and it took a while to build back up. So by probably what are we now? Mid-April. So late February, early March, it started to climb, from flattening out to pretty much zero. Then it started to climb to 3,000 reach, and then it started to, starting to get back up. But I tell you what, this collaboration, doing this with multiple, we call them stall holders because they were stall holders, but multiple presenters and raising the visibility. I have to say, in all transparency, I have been experimenting with ads as well, but only a tiny amount. So most of this is, and I'll just pop this on, this was taken this morning for the last 28 days, and this, a screenshot this morning, is increased in the last 28 days from 1 to 2, maybe 4,000 to over 46,000.
Yeah, wow.
So, and it's blowing my mind. It really is, because it's something that we found that when we did this, everybody got, I'll just pop that down now. So everybody got, they got visibility, they made sales, they increased. And I also, another thing that we're going to be talking about in the digital marketing workshop series is how I actually helped people that we collaborate with to get their own, the people who were interested in them. So create leads for those particular, because otherwise, and I know old thinking would be, you get lost in the crush, but you actually don't, because you get an opportunity to I guess hook in on the viewers that other people have, and then we had stayed with us the whole 6 hours.
It's part of the thing is you've reached an audience that previously didn't know you before.
Yes.
And that's the key to it. Is firstly you have to get known, and then they have to like you, then they have to trust you. But first of all, they have to know you. And part of that 46,000, that's 46,000 people that probably didn't really know you or the other people. Now they do. And so then that's what it offers.
It absolutely does. And then, well, and I'll talk about this, like I said, more when we actually run the workshops, is around how to get those eyeballs into your email list, which is where Scott comes in. So it dovetails beautifully, because I talk about chatbots and how to at the very front end to connect those up. So so there's a lot of really, really good stuff that's going to be in this workshop. So I would encourage you, if you know, or the series of workshops, if you know of anybody who you know think might benefit from this, please let them know, because we're here to help. And I guess the Brains Trust that you'll have, it's a series of 4 workshops done over 4 consecutive nights. If we want to just explain a little bit about that, and also about what Strauss will be doing, because it sort of completes the picture. So
yes. Yeah, look, on Friday, the 24th at 7:30 Adelaide time, I'll be introducing what I call the lead generation index, and it really talks about, and it's a great quadrant, and there'll be a download, a one-page download that you can do on the time, because then you can either write, you can either print it out there and then, or you can actually draw on it on your screen while you're watching. But it will basically set the scene for the next 3 nights, because once we know that this is the framework, and then we'll be working, there's 4 quadrants in this lead generation index, and each quadrant will be talked about during the 4 evenings on why you need to work in this quadrant for this particular reason. Then the next night we'll talk about why you need to work in this quadrant for this particular reason, and so forth. And so I'll be talking about setting up the lead generation index. Strauss will be talking about nurturing your database, whether that's email or whether it's social media or wherever you've got your database, and the necessary things you need to nurture. Are you, Adaire? Well, I mean, you can talk right now. On the 3rd night, you'll be talking about Facebook ManyChat, or?
Yes, I'll be covering 3 topics, and the first one is increasing your visibility online. And the second topic is how to systemize and semi-automate using chatbots, so while you're increasing your visibility. And the third one is looking at monetizing what you're doing. And I think the value there is because people go, well, I'm online, how do I make money out of it? And I have to say, people have been so creative. And it is something that, you know, it's a whole new way of thinking about what we do and how we help people, and you know, so restaurants, you know, they're doing curbside deliveries. You know, you just go and pop it out on the curb and people come and pick it up. And you know, we're in a time now where I think it's a perfect storm for us to experiment and see. You know, there's one I just heard of this morning for gamers, which is now available to us. It's about stars. People who love you can purchase stars. Now, I haven't, and they might say, look, I'm just going to buy, you know, they might buy stars and they might be $0.01 each, but they will buy stars for you. And it's like Patreon. So if you're doing live and people love what you're doing, and you get, you know, enough people saying, well, I'm going to purchase some stars for you because your stuff is great. So, you know, so exploring that and learning more about how that's working, because that's been available in the gamer industry for some time on Facebook. Now they're bringing it and allowing that for people who are non-gamers. So a little bit of yes, Roz, I've just said she's onto it. She's onto it. So
there's 2 things there that are important. I mean, first of all, you need the systems. You need to build the system, and you need to understand. Systems are there. You just need to understand. And you need to implement them.
Yes,
which is important. But I think the thing that's even more important than the systems is understanding why you need to do these certain things, and understand the process of putting in the system and where that's going to lead to. So that's why we talk about the lead generation index, because you understand the why behind what you're doing. Because if you do all these things and you go, well, I don't know why I'm doing it, or why am I doing this, or why am I doing that, then you won't do it. You'll lose motivation. But if you understand the why you're implementing these certain systems in these quadrants, then it makes it easier for you to get motivated and to put into place those things that you need to do. And on the fourth evening, the wrap-up evening, I'm going to be talking about essentials for your website. Essential. So the things that you have to have in your, you have to have it on your website, because if you don't have these things, then you're going to be missing out on the opportunities that you've created to get there. So again, I'll be offering checklists for that. So you can just tick the box. Yes, I've done it. Yes, I've done it. No, I have to do it. So we'll be making it as simple and as easy as possible for people, because we're not aiming this at people who already know how to do these things. We're aiming it at the people who have been thrown into this situation that are facing overwhelm. Well, what do I do? Why do I do it? How do I do it? We're going to answer all those questions. So that's what we're going to offer. And I look, for what is it, $50?
Yes.
I mean, normally we charge, we normally had this, in 2018, we normally did this every 2 years with the Adelaide Australian Digital Publishing Group. We were charging up to $200 per seat for this thing. So basically that's a 75% discount on the value of what you're getting. So look, it's a no-brainer. So join us next week. It'll be great.
And she's saying, are they digital checklists, so you don't need to get ink for your printer?
Yes, they are going to be digital. Well, there'll be PDF. There'll be PDFs for you, Roz.
But you can have little boxes where you can. I've got one that's called a daily workflow checklist, and of things that are useful to do. Think about each day when you're having a presence on Facebook, and I might even dust that off and bring that out as well. But that one is actually, it's a PDF, but you can actually checklist. You can go through and you can have it on your desktop, and you can click it when you've done it. So it sort of gives you a bit of a measuring stick. But I like what you said, Scott, because it's around results. It's about what results are you going to get at the end of it? What are you going to have at the end? It's like, us women, we go through 9 months of pregnancy, but we know we're going to pop out a kid at the end. So makes it all worthwhile. So I think it's actually a bit like having a baby, because it can be a bit painful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, as a man, I can't really appreciate childbirth to that extent. But the analogy I often use is writing a book. In the gestation of it is a good book takes 9 months at the end of it. It's nowhere near as painful as delivering a live birth, granted, but
and then you don't have 18 years of pain for it. It's right, it's going to bring you money.
That's right. So, but again, it's like, Mark, it's any process that you need to understand the process. You need to understand, but not just what you need to do. You have to understand why you need to do it. You have to understand how you need to do it. So those are the 3 main things that we'll be talking about.
Well, I think it's great. No, I think it's amazing. Thank you for coming up with this idea and doing it online and collaborating, because I think that's, again, there's that word. It's like I couldn't put together that by myself, because I don't have the expertise or knowledge that you and Strauss have. So I think it's perfect. So really do look forward. Roz, thank you. She's got her ticket. She's going to be there. We're actually holding it in a private Facebook group. So we are we're on the platform. We will be using Be Live as well. And so we're using all the tools that we use to teach you how to do the tools, like use the tools. So they're all, it's all there. Roz is saying also 55 is an early bird and 65 if you leave it too late. That's not per workshop. That's for four
Yes.
run over consecutive.
That's for 4 hours of workshop, and it'll probably be a little bit more because we'll be offering Q&As after we've finished anyway. So if you're uncertain about any of the things that we'll be talking about, we will answer your questions right there and right then.
And you'll also have an opportunity to, like, that will say that will be in the group, in the private Facebook group. So you'll have that as a resource that you can go back to at any time. Now you're doing some stuff on the see down.
Yes.
Do you want me to bring the?
While we're talking, I'm actually going to bring up the digital marketing Facebook group that we're going to be delivering this platform through. So anyone that signs up, you will receive a link in an email or at the end of the sign up session when you do it through Eventbrite. But you'll be sent a link to the digital marketing workshop, Reach, Engage, and Deliver. All you need to do is click the sign up to join, and then we'll receive notifications, and you'll be automatically signed up for it. I will also be doing a double check anyway, and anyone that forgets to sign up, I will be going through all the registrations, and I'll be sending out invitations to remind you to this is where we're going to be doing the workshop. So you will get there, either the high road or the low road. So don't worry about it. We'll get you on board.
Yes, we will. Okay, so finished with that.
Yes.
And when you go through the process, just have a look at how it's done and know that you can duplicate that process for your own business. So it's pretty cool. So Roz, she's missed that stuff, going to that bit now. All right. So half an hour has turned into an hour, but it has, and I said half an hour has turned into an hour, but it has been a really great conversation. I'm really liking a bit more of the unstructured. I don't know how long I'll be able to get away with it for, but it's like I wanted to also say that if you're wanting to get some leverage when you are doing your live streams, right now has never been a better time to reach out to people in your industry that you think are, the bee's knees. And an example of this, although Mark isn't in my industry, but I was worked with him. This is Mark Holden, former Australian Idol judge and pop star of the 70s, and I had his picture out of the TV Week on my bedroom ceiling when I was about 14, and so I worked with him on a Rotary project for Rotary in 2018. And I said to him, I actually texted him and said, Mark, do you want to jump on My Time TV and share with us what entertainers do for entertainment during the times that we live in now? And he said, yeah, sure. So there are a lot of people. Eric Edmeades from WildFit, he works with Mind Valley, if you're familiar with Mind Valley, with Lakani. He was a guest on my show, Be My Guest, a couple of weeks ago. I had to get up at stupid o'clock to do it, but I was happy to do that. So I'm just saying, if you think that there are people that are out of your reach, that you just keep asking and asking, because Eric said to himself that he would be normally, if you have to have a certain level of followers, a profile yourself, but now it's like, let's leverage whatever means we can. So if you're doing a live broadcast, if you're doing a vlog or a podcast, and you want to reach out and connect with high profile or higher profile people to leverage and help build your own audience, this is a perfect time to do it. And again, it's collaboration. So
yes.
So
Thank you, Adaire. Thank you for putting this up for us, and hopefully we'll see a lot more next week as well.
Yes, we will. And please do remember to make sure all of your friends that are in business that needs to see this information, please flick them a link. You're more than welcome to do that. We'd love to see a full house, which is as many as we can, is unlimited, really. So, so jump on and jump in and be prepared to roll up your sleeves and learn lots and implement lots and get where we want to go. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Adaire. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye-bye.